Hello and welcome to Bent TV. My name is Erin Kyan, pronouns he, him, and we are broadcasting from the Kulin Nation. I am joined today by Ella Bells and Jacci Pillar, pronouns she, her, and they, them, respectively. And we would like to talk a little bit about queer self-love. Because let's face it, the world is a bit of a dumpster fire. We want to talk about ways that we love ourselves and our queerness, specifically, when we're alone. So, you know, because obviously when things are hard, you can reach out to friends and family and you can connect with your community. But at the end of the day, you also have to be with yourself. Mm-hmm. So I would really like to hear from you both some of the things you do to sort of love yourself and I guess engage in like self-care around your queerness.
I think for me, in terms of queer self-love, when I think of all the crap that gets thrown at the queers at the moment and always, for me, one of the best things that I can do to feel better and to look after myself and my queerness is kind of any act of creation in any sense. Because I feel like so much of queer identity is about this creation and pride, and that can be really difficult sometimes. Sometimes pride can be a really, really far goal to get to, when so much of what we feel like is part of the attack is being told that we can't be things, or things are taken away, or things aren't allowed. So for me, when I'm trying to look after myself or kind of foster that part, it's kind of any act of creation, and that can be even something as simple as just makeup and prioritizing that, even if I'm not going out or doing anything, just taking that time to make something and to put something into the world, or even just in my room, so that it exists and that I'm putting positive things back onto myself and kind of into the space around me when I feel like they're being taken away.
Yeah, that's really good. Jacci, what about you?
Yeah, that's good, and I like that. Because you're saying when you feel like they've been taken away, is I did spend most of my life with it, I felt taken away. And it's only been my 40s since I've really reclaimed and come out with my queerness. And so for me now, it's just anything in that space about pride and sort of fostering my creative outlets. And the other thing I do is I create characters in my downtime. So I create characters that I'll use on stage or that I hope to use in the future. And those characters represent the world of oppression. And then I mock them. So one of the things as being an autistic person is that all of our lives we camouflage or mask, there's different words for it to try and fit in. And then we get to a stage where we can actually use that camouflage and that mask as an act of self-love and an act of self-care to clap back at that dumpster fire that's going on in the world around the idea that we can't be who we are, fundamentally and intrinsically and genetically who we are. So yeah, I suppose I create characters and I write and I make costumes like 4-foot velvet vulvas that I wear on stage.
Outstanding.
So yeah, that any of that. So it's a creative, I think, process for me is very similar. You know, it's really important to, and also make a distinction between self-care and self-love.
Absolutely.
Because there's all this stuff, like you're saying, all the crap out there around radical self-care, and that can be, you know, sometimes
self-care isn't always very fun.
No, you know, sometimes it just be having a cup of tea that you really like and having a stash of Russian caravan in the cupboard. You know, it can be really simple things.
I know for me, one of the things I do as a trans person to sort of love myself and my transness is to give myself space to be completely alone, away from any cis people, away from anything touched by a cis person. And often this is just my bedroom, but like space for me to be present in my body. And like, if I have dysphoria, that's fine, I can handle that in other ways, but to focus on the stuff that I actually like. Because I spend, especially as a disabled trans person, and so for me, cultivating time, and it has to be, it's like spending quality time with a friend. It's like, except doing that with myself and my own body. And like, it's not necessarily sexual, it's just about like, feeling comfortable and happy and appreciating my body in a lot of ways. And that's something that I find really important when times are hard.
It sounds like kind of in doing that, you're just finding a way to just kind of just seek some peace.
Basically,
like, body in yourself. Like that's, I think that's so important, I think. Especially in the cavalcade of so many messages about what is okay about you and what isn't okay with you, and also how that can be really difficult if you're working as an advocate or if you're working as an advocate activist, because we care so much about ourselves and our identity and our peers and our friends. It means that there is so much work to do, which means that sometimes the responsibilities that we put on ourselves can be incredibly high. And we all want to fight, and we want to fight the good fight, but taking that time to just find some peace and stillness and compassion for yourself.
You have to, because otherwise you burn out.
Yeah.
Like, and if you burn out, you don't help anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't help the fight, you don't help anyone. You have to take a rest. Have a nap. Please have a nap. You can tell your boss that I said it's okay that you had a nap. Like, I guess I would also love to get a little tip of, like, when people aren't feeling it, when they really don't love themselves, what's something that you can do for yourself that's nice, that's just maybe really simple, and that you can still kind of do even if you really are not feeling it?
Well, I think if I can jump in, I think for me, a kind of saying that I really live by is that self-care is really important when it's really hard. Like, I think that's just the truth of it. Like, self-care as a term has gone in so many different directions and has been appropriated and used in different ways that sometimes aren't super helpful. But I think for me, where self-care always starts, like, cool, if I'm not feeling it, if I'm having a rubbish one, if I just want to pack it all in, have I had enough sleep? Have I eaten? Am I, like, dressed in things that I am comfortable in? And just starting with that really basic stuff, and even just like breathing. Like, and as much as it can be very easy, because when you're experiencing really genuine pain and really big emotions, doing the simple stuff can feel really dismissive of your own experience, which can make it really difficult. So often I find that if you just like start with the checklist of like, cool, eaten, slept, comfortable, taken just some time in the breath, and then you can go, cool, now I'm in this state, what can I go that might
From
be more
there.
effort?
What about you, Jackie?
Cuddle my dog.
Yeah.
I think
pets are good.
You know, pets are great. You know, I think this is a really good thing. But, you know, I totally hear you with that. You know, that where self-care has been taken, and you know, and taken to be an indicator of self-love, which sometimes we're not always capable of self-care.
Yeah.
And then it is about those little ways we build in things. But yeah, like for me, cuddling my dog, and I'm in the process of training a service dog at the moment, and that's a really interesting relationship, a really interesting bond, because it's even more than. I don't know that it's more than, it's just different.
Yeah.
But she's also trained to know when I'm overwhelmed and when I'm really anxious. And sometimes she comes to me when I actually think I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting. And then I go, actually, yeah, my heart rate's up,
maybe.
and cuddle my dog, simple things again, cup of tea, slow down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that idea of get up and dress in something you really like.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really good. I think the other thing is allowing yourself to feel shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes is really important.
Absolutely.
Because every emotion is valid.
Yeah.
And you know, we tend to spend our whole life, and it's just going to sound very Buddhist of me, but you know, as part of Buddhist philosophy has always been that thing about all emotions are valid.
Yeah.
And they'll all pass, but then you don't want someone saying to you, hey, I know you feel crap, but it'll pass.
Yeah, it's not the most supportive
It's a bit
thing.
like telling someone to calm down. Has that ever worked in the history of the world? And yet people still say, oh, calm down. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it's a range of things. I like isolation. I'm quite okay with isolation. I've just come from living in a really remote place to here, to living in a city, and that has its challenges.
I'll bet.
But I'm getting good at it, and it's about, you know, I like to choose myself, to isolate myself consciously. I need to. So I do that regularly, but then you can get guilty about that.
You can, yeah.
So sometimes it is about communicating that too.
Don't beat yourself up
No,
if you do.
no,
either.
no, totally not.
Yeah, and I think for me, when I can't be bothered taking part in any kind of self-love, I try to remind myself that the fact I'm alive is a part of that resistance.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
I am a queer, disabled, trans person, and I am alive. And I have, like, even if nothing else, even if I didn't have my partner, even if I didn't have friends, if nothing else, the fact that I am alive is already a huge victory for the LGBTIQA plus community. And so hopefully we've given you a few ideas of things you can do to make yourself feel a bit more loved by yourself when things are hard. And if you're still struggling with it, that's okay. But hey, you're still alive, so that's a win. So keep doing that. Thank you both so much, Ella Bells and Jacci Pillar, for chatting with me about self-love. It's really important in times like these. So yeah, thank you, and love yourselves as much as I do. This has been Queer Self-Love on Bent TV. Thank you so much for watching, and please love yourself.
you.